6 days to come up with $969.99. I'm about to sell this couch, I'm about to get this money, and we're gonna be on our way. Now we've got my master's, still unemployed. That's why I had to start doing DoorDash. Hey friends. We black, we don't do that. Hey friends, my name is Patrice Leah here on YouTube, and I'm so excited you decided to watch me. Okay, so we are finally back and recording in real time. I believe that the last video I posted was the Atlanta wedding vlog. If y'all have not gone and checked it out, please go and check it out, especially if you want a little laugh, you know, a little bit of entertainment, something to watch while you're doing the laundry, doing some chores. Just go and put it on. I did post that vlog like 2 months after I had filmed it. I had just gone around to editing it. But in between that time, I just feel like there's a lot to catch up on since so much has happened since then. And honestly, just before then, like this whole season of my life has just been something that I felt like writing in a journal was not gonna be good enough for me. My hands was gonna fall off. Fingers were gonna be crippled and falling off the bone. So here we are. One of the biggest things that's happened to me in this season was graduating with my MPH. So yes, your girl got her master's back in May. I am really proud of that, and it was really a huge accomplishment for me. But I think what's been interesting is everything that has happened after that, because graduating didn't mean that everything else in my life automatically fell into place. So we gotta get into that. But girl, I have still been unemployed, applying for jobs. If anyone knows, I think one of my first videos here on YouTube is me sharing about how I got laid off from my job. Ever since then, I have been unemployed and have not been able to get a job. Now I've got my master's, still unemployed. Honestly, it's kind of crazy to think that it'll be almost a year since I've been almost a year since I've been unemployed. I've been interviewing with companies, applying and praying and having conversations with people, and just having conversations where I'm like, okay, maybe this could be, okay, he's going. Thank you, Benji. Out the way. I'm having conversations and just thinking, okay, maybe this could be it, and it's not it. Then nothing happens, and we're right back in the same cycle. And after a while, it just really starts to weigh on you, especially when you're just trying to figure out what your next step is, and you feel like you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, but you're still waiting. I mean, I feel like this dilemma is very much relatable to a lot of other people. I don't think I've truly talked about the financial struggles that have come from this. I am laying everything out here first because this is the first time I'm truly being open about how difficult things have been for me financially, because my family doesn't even know the full extent of it. They know some things obviously, but they don't know everything that's been going on behind the scenes. I pray somebody could also relate to this. If not, maybe you might know someone that is, but I've definitely been someone that has always processed things internally. Even growing up, I kept a lot of things to myself. Oftentimes, I don't even realize that I have withdrawn until I'm already really deep in it. And I know that from the outside, it could look like I'm being secretive. And I've heard a lot of times like, oh, you're being so secretive. Sometimes I just don't know how to explain what I'm going through, especially when I feel overwhelmed. And talking about it can feel like another thing I have to carry. I also recognize that this is not necessarily the healthiest of way of dealing with things. I know that by isolating myself and keeping everything inside isn't always going to serve me. And that's part of why I go to therapy. I've been going to therapy for almost 2 years now, but there's so many elements of my life that we are unpacking. When they say it's a process, it's a process. So I would break it down like this. It's like something happens, then I internalize it, I process it alone, then I withdraw, and then time passes by, then people begin to notice I'm being distant, and then they ask why I didn't tell them, and then now I'm being asked to explain something I didn't even realize I was withholding, which then makes me feel misunderstood, which makes me want to withdraw more. But guys, we are working on it. We are working on it. I do want to preface this. I never want to make it seem like I haven't been blessed or I haven't had any help at all during this season of my life. I've actually received a lot of help during this season, and I'm genuinely grateful for it, especially from my dad, because there have been many moments where his help has really gotten me through something, and I don't take that for granted at all. But at the same time, I'm also not someone who likes asking help for things. I'm really putting myself out there, but I always feel like I am a burden to someone. And when you're already in a position where people have helped you, for me personally, it can be really hard for me to come back and say, hey, I need help again. Hey.
How y'all doing?
And then eventually you start wanting to try and figure things out on your own, even if you don't necessarily know how you're going to do that. And there were definitely moments where I was looking at my finances like, girl, what we gonna do with that? There were times where I was genuinely trying to figure out how I was going to make things work, and that's why I had to start doing DoorDash, because I'm like, girl, these bills gotta get paid. Why McDonald's not even hired? Why is Target is so bougie? They acting like you need to have 5 PhDs, 5 masters, and have gone to Cornell and Harvard University. But if you would have told me that after getting my master's degree, I was gonna be delivering food to people's homes, I probably would have laughed. But honestly, when you need money, you just gotta do what you gotta do. It's definitely been hard. It's not been easy, but it gets the job done in a way. And there were definitely moments where I was looking at my finances, like, I was like, girl, I'm about to share some screenshots. So this one particular night, I had negative $198 because the bill man came and collect their bills, as they should. I mean, they gotta get paid, but still. So it ended up bringing my account to negative $198. I was doing DoorDash for like maybe 8 hours. It was around 2 a.m. where I finally was like, okay, we have enough to get ourselves out of the negatives. After we cashed out, it brought me to 27 cents. Then, boom, I went home. I remembered that I had $1 in my drawer. Y'all see the dollar here? This is the dollar. I had 24 hours to get my account out of the negatives so that the bank doesn't charge me. And it deposited the $1 bill, brought my account back to a whopping 73 cents. God is good. That was just one night out of a couple nights that has happened. But honestly, like being in this situation and having to do DoorDash, you just start looking at money completely differently. You're always thinking about how much you're making, how much you're spending on gas, the mileage, whether an order is even worth taking, how long you're going to be out, and everything just becomes a calculation. And that has been my reality, and we're still living it today. And I think the financial part of my season has affected me emotionally more than I realized, because like, y'all, let's face it, it sucks having no money. I mean, like, let's be real. It sucks having no money. There were parts of it where I just didn't want to be around people. A whole nother part is like I just didn't really feel like explaining myself every single time. And I've had to do that a lot of times. Everyone is asking me, a lot of people are asking me, and you know what? I also like to sit back and look at that as a blessing, because wow, like this many people care about where I'm at, but also it's like I'm very tired of explaining my situation. I didn't always want to answer like questions about how the job search was going when I didn't have an answer. I didn't always want to say, yeah, you know, I'm still looking and I'm still trying to figure things out. And some people would just blatantly just say, okay, so what's next? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you pressing me, girl? Sometimes I still didn't even know what I was going to do next. So yeah, I definitely did not feel like talking about it. So I just kind of kept to myself, and I just feel like people were looking for more information from me that I just didn't have. But maybe that's just me over talking and overthinking and thinking too deeply into things, and I'm just like, I don't know, my brain is just, it's just everything. It's just a whole mix of things. And I think that's something people probably wouldn't know or be able to tell just by looking at my life from the outside, because of course, you know, I post on myself going to weddings and you see me graduating, and definitely those moments have helped to bring a lot of joy into my life, especially in this season. But it's also like, that's why social media is an interesting place, because you never truly know what that person behind the screen is going through, what they're battling with, when there's no cameras, there's no posting, there's no none of that. And Instagram is just such a fake place, man. And I feel like I just want to bring that realness of vulnerability, as someone who likes to say to myself anyway, back onto this platform, just to be able to help anyone else that may be going through the same thing. God has been a huge part of this season for me, and like, I know that my faith is strong, but I also think that one of the biggest things I've had to learn that is having faith doesn't mean that you don't ever get frustrated with God. Cause trust, there have been many moments where I've got frustrated, I've got pissed, I've got mad with the Lord. And there have been so many moments where I'm crying, bawling my eyes out, just wondering like what he's doing, wondering like what are you trying to do? And like, you see me going through this where is your hand in all of this? And his hand has been in this all along. But when you're so caught up in your own situation and everything that's not going right, or everything that's not going your way, you fail to see the one that has been keeping you this whole time. I think sometimes we make faith seem like we're just supposed to be happy and peaceful and confident all the time. We make it seem like if you really trust God, you shouldn't be worried or upset or crying. Like, you should be strong. None of that boo-hoo crying stuff. But when you begin to truly think about God as a father, you're a child and you have your dad. You're going to cry to your dad about something that's happened or something that you want or something that you need. And he doesn't push you away. He invites that. So I believe that God, the Father in heaven, encourages that as well. And it's okay. It's okay to cry and still have faith. It's okay to wonder and still come to the Lord and say, hey, you know what? I'm wondering about this. I'm unsure about this, but I'm really just trying my best to trust in you, because if I know that if I put my trust in anything else, they're going to fail me. So it's like always keeping in the back of your head the nature of God and everything that you know who he is to be, regardless of the situation. So like, yeah, I'm gonna cry about this, but I'm also gonna bring how I'm feeling to the Lord. For me, sometimes it looks like being frustrated but still praying, or me not understanding but still knowing that he is God. And you just get to that point like, God, like I don't know what to do. And he just be like, be still. What you mean be still? I got negative $198 in my bank account. But that's the process. Like, that's literally what it is, and it's so much easier said than done. But I'm telling you, the world, living in the world and just trying to strive and work for more and hustle will make you feel like you want to pull out your hair. And so in this season, I think what was truly important for me to know, and it's still something I'm like working and dealing with now, is that I can have all these feelings and feel all these ways and still have faith. I think what's really important to know is how we respond in the midst of a storm, in the midst of a hurricane, a tsunami. Like, how do you respond to that? Who do you run to? Like, okay, you're human, feel. It's okay. But now, where do you channel those feelings? Where do you now go to seek refuge, to seek hope and trust? How you respond to your situation, to your trials and tribulations is really, really, really important. And this is another part why isolation is not good, because it's important for you to go to community. And I am having to also practice what I preach as well, because this is something I am preaching to the choir, and I am the choir, because these are the things I'm quite literally needing to implement into my life right now, as I'm still in an area of uncertainty. I'm still having to move back to, you know, my mom's house and like just do all these things. You can feel stuck and still know that he is going to work it out. And for me in my life, I really don't know necessarily what the answer is for me right now. And I don't need to pretend that I do, because quite frankly, I'm still in the middle of this season. And I think that's important, because I don't want to sit here and give y'all a perfectly wrapped up inspirational story when I'm still living in it. This is just part of the testimony that has yet to wrap up. And it quite literally brings me to where I am sitting at right now, because I'm in the final stretch of my lease. And as y'all can see, I don't got no couch no more, because I've been trying to figure out you know, what I'm gonna do with some of my things. Like, I'm still trying to sell my TV stand, my table, and all these things. I got a quick story. So I was trying to sell my couch on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody reached out to me because they were interested in buying it. And this is where things begin to get a little crazy. So it's my first time selling on Facebook Marketplace. This person reaches out to me and I'm thinking, you know, everything's normal, everything's cool. If y'all picking up where I'm about to go with this, please do not judge me. But anyways, I'm thinking I'm about to sell this couch, I'm about to get this money, and we're gonna be on our way. This person reaches out to me and says, hey, I'm interested in buying this couch. They commented something like, hey, you know, I was trying to message you about this personally on Facebook messages or whatever, and I was not able to for some reason. Can you please like text me? Here's my number. I'm interested in buying this couch. And so I messaged this person. I'm like, hey, I saw you were inquiring about my couch. Just reaching out to see if you're still interested. And they were like, yeah, can you tell me a little bit about this couch and like what's the conditions of it and all of that. Very normal conversation. And this person was like, hey, well, you know, my husband and his buddy can come by tomorrow with a truck to come pick up the couch. Does 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. work for you? And I'm like, 6 p.m. works for me, we can do that. She's like, perfect. You know, she asked me if there's parking in front of my building. I said, yes, there is. You can park right in the front. You know, you don't have to worry about visitor parking or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, bet. Then we start getting into payment. I tell her, you know, I really prefer to do Zelle or cash, but you know, whatever works for you. And she's like, yeah, I actually prefer to do Cash App. Boom, red flag. Don't ever do Cash App. Cash App actually needs to be canceled. I don't even understand why that money app is still around. We need to cancel Cash App because it is so easy to scam with that app. Tell me why people can literally scam you based off your Cash App tag alone. I don't know what it is that they do or whatever it is, but anyways, long story short, this person was like something about a business account. They sent me the money that I was selling the couch for. It was $375. Boom, they sent me the money. I got an email from Cash App. That was not Cash App. Red flag. I got an email from Cash App. You know, in the heat of things, you're not really thinking. Please do not judge me because I've heard a lot of people have got like this, okay? And in the heat of the moment, especially when you're in desperate times, you don't have, your thinking cap might be only 90% of the way on. Long story short, some about a business transaction, which actually is a real thing. I had to shift again because my camera died. Something about like a regular account receiving business transactions is a real thing. It can put a hold on your account and X, Y, and Z, because I talked about it with someone who actually came to buy my couch. I explained it to him and he's like, oh yeah, I've definitely been in a situation like that. That is a real thing, and like people are now using that to scam other people, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, I end up getting scammed out of $500. Did I say I got scammed out of $500? Oh, yeah, I did. I did also want to show like the messages, the receipts of things. But after I realized I had gotten scammed, I just deleted everything, blocked, deleted, changed all my passwords and all of that. I didn't even want to look at the messages anymore. Receipts, deleted. I'm feeling, you know, very stressed, very emotional, very not so great. My cousin keeps calling me. She keeps calling me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to talk to you right now. I just got scammed out of $500. So I'm watching her calls go through and she's like, I know you see me calling you. So you could imagine, it's me, I'm stressed out, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, what even is there to do. And then here come my cousin, let's go to Jamaica. Jamaica? In this economy, in my current situation, I don't got no job. I don't got no money. But I text her back the next morning and I'm like, girl, I just got scammed. I'll be there in spirit. Boom, next day, I wasn't even gonna go to church the next morning because I was just so stressed. But thank the Lord I went to church because that's exactly what I needed. It was like, I just felt a weight on my heart. It was like anxiety was sitting in my chest and I couldn't lift it off me. Like there was nothing that I could do. But as soon as I walked into them church doors and we were just praising and worshiping the Lord, just like everything just felt like it broke off. And I just felt so much at peace. I forgot what I was going through. And I just felt so much better about, you know, the situation. I also was so stressed that I hadn't even eaten for 24 hours. And you know me, I love food. So for me to not eat for 24 hours, you know that is something serious. I left the church A couple hours later, I'm blessed with some Dominican food. Like the food really had me doing a 1-2 step. Like if I could do bachata, ba-dum bum, bum bum, mini mini bum bum, mini mini bum bum, mini 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 bum bum, mini 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 bum bum, mini 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 bum bum, mini mini bum bum. That's how good that Dominican food was. Food be too good, food be too seasoned. And here's where you could think, oh, nothing could be worse than that. Well, the day before I got scammed, I actually received an eviction notice from my apartment because I was still short on rent and I still needed to come up with $969.99. I was supposed to have the money for it. Other bills got in the way of that. And this is actually the first time I'm telling anyone. My family doesn't even know about the eviction notice. They just know that I have been struggling. They know about the scam, but they do not know that I received this letter. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you about that day I received the eviction notice. The day I received the eviction notice, I had 6 days to come up with $969.99. I had to, number one, DoorDash like crazy. They had to add a $75 late fee because my rent was late. And so now the total I had to come up with to pay was $969.99 before they began to move forward with the eviction process, which could incur an extra $3,000, which I would have to pay because those are legal fees that would have to be added into this. So you could imagine the stress that I was feeling. And this happened very recently, so like I still feel very heavily about this. I feel like I'm, oh my gosh. Just imagine trying to figure out how I'm gonna come up with that money, and then 24 hours later, I get scammed out of $500. Like, girl, how do I get an eviction notice and get scammed out of $500 all within 24 hours? Like, what movie am I in? And it was at that point that, you know, I just had to laugh because this is really unreal. It was also a very difficult moment for me. This happened a week and a half ago. There has been a lot happening that people don't see. And again, definitely shout out to my dad again, who has helped me so much in this part of my life. I think the biggest thing that this season has taught me is that being grateful doesn't mean that your life is still not hard. Having faith doesn't mean you don't sometimes cry. And accepting help doesn't mean that you don't sometimes feel embarrassed that you need help. Sometimes faith can look like praying and just feeling really calm and really peaceful about things. And then sometimes faith can look like crying in your room and being frustrated with God, not knowing what you're going to do and still getting up the next day. And I don't have the perfect ending to this story because it's simply not over yet. Like, I'm still looking for a job. I'm still figuring out my finances. I have $0 in my account. I have to do DoorDash. I'm still trying to figure out the next chapter of my life and wondering what that is going to look like, but also trying to tell myself just to focus on right now. There's a verse in the Bible that says, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has its own worries of its own. So the more that I look into the future, and this is something my dad always says too, when you begin to think about the future a lot and wondering about the future, trying to figure out the future, that invites anxiety. When you look at the past a lot, that also invites depression. My dad gave me that wise words of wisdom, and now I'm also applying what also the Bible says, and it quite literally is the same thing. Do not worry about tomorrow because tomorrow will worry about itself. Focus on the now. But I think what's important to know is that I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still moving. I'm still trying. That's all you literally can do. I'm still doing my best to trust God, even though I do not know what He is doing. Try not to worry, try not to fear, because He says literally do not worry and do not fear. So I guess that's just where we are. Life has been a lot lately, and I'm really happy to be able to sit here and to talk about it. But we're here and we're going to figure things out. Each and every single day I've been able to have food to eat. I have a car to drive that allows me to do DoorDash, and you know, I have the resources that I need to be able to go out and make money. I have the strength, I have the health, got arms and legs and eyes to see, ears to hear. So it's like, I just really try to be grateful and focus on those things that I have in this life. Because think about this, you are the representation of an answered prayer for somebody else's life. Somebody else is praying to have the health that you have. Somebody else is praying to have the faith that you have. Somebody else is praying to have the ability to breathe without any sort of devices. It's really easy to get caught up in our life situation. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it sucks. I can't put my trust in my degree. I can't put my trust in a job. All of these things will fail you. Like, all of these things will fail you. All I know is that I can have faith and have the ability and the resources to put the work in, and trust that God will always make a way out and He will always make a way through. So that's it. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. If you did, I really pray and I really hope that this resonated with even just one person, because if it did, then that's all that matters. So please subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed. Don't forget to like this video and definitely comment, because I would love to connect with whomever may be watching it, even if it's just one person in the whole wide world. I will catch y'all in my next video, because next week we packing up the rest of this place and we moving out, baby, because it is the end of a season into the next one. We are not being set back, we're just being repositioned. I'll catch y'all in my next video. Bye.